Welcome back to Old Time Garage. As you can see, we got the Young Kid 71 Chev pickup all blocked, and we're doing the final underneath. You remember I said I texture sprayed it. We're doing the satin black underneath it now. But the main subject here is we just finished spraying Bruce's Model A Hemi car, so let's take a quick look. Okay, we'll come around this way. Just don't want to take my video photographer going through all the paint fumes. Should always have a mask on. So we even care about the people that are videotaping us. Bondo! And yes, the dog's name is Bondo. Here we go. Here is Bruce's car. Here's how we do it at Old Time Garage. Hope you guys like the color. I did pull away a little bit of the masking. I painted this last night. Now obviously, as you can see, I do not have a booth here. I do have, now what goes on here is I have a painter who has a shop in town that has a booth, and he does all my paint work for me. So I sublet the painting to him. Him and I work together. He kind of works for me and I work for him. He sends me work. So this car, Bruce didn't want to get carried away, so I never sent the car down to this guy because it would have been a lot of money to have him paint it. I have another fella in town, a retired guy that's got a booth actually in his yard, and he lets me use his booth. The problem is that he just got hold of me last week and said, I'm going out of town for 5 weeks. And he was kind of having some work done in his shop, so the booth is shut down. So I'm screwed. I got Bruce's car here, I got to paint it. Bruce wants his car back. What do? I'll tell you what you do. You clean your garage out really well. You get a good fan, like I've got going back here, a squirrel cage fan. You put it between your doors. You put a piece of, you open your doors up so they're partway open. You put a piece of cardboard up in here. This is excellent for sucking the fumes out. You clean your garage up really good. You get your car at least a good 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the ground, because that's where the dust and dirt is going to come from. And you soak the floors down with water. You just soak it down. You don't have to worry about up in the walls or the ceiling or the roof or anything, because you're not going to be spraying there. Then you just start painting your car. And the chances are you're going to get very, very little dust, if anything. And whatever little bit you get, you're going to polish out. But as you can see, Bruce's car, there's no dust. Take a walk around. You can see how we makeshift hung the grill up here from the Mercedes down to a couple old wheels. You can see how we got 2 cherry pickers on the go with the doors hanging up. And that's it. There's Bruce's car all painted. I'm super happy with this car. I hope he likes the color. And we're going to unmask it later on today, because I don't like to leave the masking sit too long. Because if you leave it sit too long, what happens is then the paint hardens up really good to the masking. And there's a chance when you pull the masking paper off, it could pull the paint too with it. So you always want to not leave it for too long. You don't want to leave it sit for 2 or 3 days, just in my opinion. And other than that, that's it. We're going to unwrap it all, and we're going to see how this bad boy looks, and we'll get right back to you here. Once I finish painting that, I'll get right back to you with the masking unwrapped on this car, and we're good to go. Okay, so we're back. Sorry I had to cut you guys off there for a minute. I had to finish up painting the black on the 71 Chev pickup. But here we are. I've got the masking all ripped off of Bruce's car, so you get a better look at it with all the masking paper off. And you know, it turned out good. I'm very happy with this job. You got the nice gloss black frame and the firewall and the window frame we did, so it gives it that contrast. So it looks awesome. This calendar here, if you're wondering what it's all about, this is actually, Bruce had this calendar on the wall, and when I went to see him, he said, you know what? He said, I like the look of this car, the color in that. He said, I'd like to go with that color, or maybe a little darker. He goes, you do what you want to do. And that's the worst thing that can ever happen. To all you guys out there, and you know this, all you guys that do cars, the last thing we ever do is pick a color for a customer. Because the customer, if we pick the color and the customer, even if he's a friend of yours or whatever, he may love the color, but all it takes is for him to go to a car show and one asshole to say, ooh, what's with that color? And then all of a sudden, it's not on the customer anymore because he didn't pick it, it's on you. He's coming up to you saying, you know, people are saying stuff about the color after he asked you to do it. But Bruce isn't like that. Bruce is a great guy. I love Bruce. He's a good friend of mine, and I'd do anything for the guy. I would have done the car for free if I could have afforded it. But anyway, go out in your backyard, Bruce, and dig out your cans and give me your money because I know you're rich. But anyway, so don't pick a color for a customer. I did it for Bruce. Bruce has a hard time figuring out what color would look good, but he had the right idea with this calendar, And I went a little shade different than what the calendar was, and I think it turned out awesome. So, you know, as you do the walk around, you can see it's all sprayed now, and it's just a matter of putting the car together. And remember, there's no fenders or running boards. This is an open car, like you see it. And like I say, great paint. You can, I don't know if you can see myself in it. I'm waving at you. And this is just a single stage paint. There's no base coat, no clear coat, none of that stuff. And we did it here in the garage, and I gave you some tips earlier on what to do there. You can paint a car in a garage. It's not impossible. I've seen some of the best paint jobs actually done out there where guys, I've even seen guys in garages, the old style garages that have got gravel floors. And I've seen guys hose the floor down and just had a fan at the door and paint a car in there. And I've seen paint jobs come out of those kind of garages better than a booth. A booth, in my opinion, and I use a booth, like I explained to you, my guy's out of town. In my opinion, a booth, why you get a booth is you get the heating, you get controlled temperature, you get filtration for sucking out the dust, you get proper lighting, and that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, even cars that are painted in booths come out with dust in them. Because you never know what kind of little particles are going to come off of you. And you never know it when you get your car back from the painter because they always polish it out. They always polish it out before you get your car. So, I mean, I painted this in here, and there's the odd little speck, I'm not ashamed to say it, there's the odd little speck of dust that's here and there. But, holy man, this is better than some of the jobs that half these shops are doing out there. I'm sorry to say it, but it just is. I'm really proud of this job. So, yeah, that's it. I finished off painting the kid 71. I shouldn't say kid. He's in his 30s. Brent's his name. There we go, Brent, if you're watching the video. I got all the bottom of his cab painted up today on the texture spray. And we can take a quick little view in here of what we got going on. Oh, make our way around Bruce's doors and all the stuff. So the cab is now back flipped down. Earlier today when you saw me, I was spraying it. I had it sitting on the firewall up on the cart. The underneath has all been sprayed. I've already masked it off underneath here where you can't see with plastic. I've got some masking going on here because what I did was I did all the caulking and all the drip rails. I've redone all that. I'm going to texture spray up in here and right up to this body line. It's a good sound detonator and just covers up any little lumps and bumps in the floors. It doesn't matter. He's going to put carpet in anyway. And then we are going to get on to spraying the green on this cab. So the next video we do will be on this cab. We're going to get this cab painted up here really quick, and we're going to get the cab mounted on the frame, and we're going to start going to town on this because he'd like to have this truck by June, just like all the other 5 or 6 cars out there. And so we worked on that a bit today, and we worked on the Mercedes hood a bit here today. We started stripping it down. We found around 3/4 of an inch of body filler across here. This is not a metal hood. This 1960 Mercedes has got an aluminum hood, aluminum deck lid and doors. So yeah, so it's you know, it's a little different to work with. You've got to be a little more careful. It's not no yanking and pulling as much as it is with metal. So anyway, we got to fix this all up. We took all the body filler out that was here. We've kind of we've knocked her down with 40 grit, got rid of the high spots that were already on it, and we just lightly put a light skim of putty over top of the low spots. So other than that, the hood is basically good here. We got to do the body filler here, but the problem is because it's so banged in, we're going to tap and dolly and try and straighten it out the best we can. Then we're going to mount the hood back on the car, so when we mount it, because the nose butts up to it like this, you don't want to be putting body filler on here now, because if you do, how do you know you get it the same height as what's up there? We're not going to put a lot on here. Like I say, this had, oh, must have been 3/4 of an inch of body filler. I had to take pictures so the customer can see it. So we're just going to hopefully just have like a very minimal skim coat by the time we dolly it all out, and that'll be perfect. So that was, that's what went on here. That's what went on here this week for Old Time Garage. I hope you guys are impressed with the Model A. Hope you like it. Bruce, if you're watching, which I don't know if you are, but I hope you like the car too. And that's it. We'll see you guys next week, and we'll get on with the truck here. Okay guys, you have a good weekend, and talk to you later.